Honorable Mahinda Alutgamage, Minister of Agriculture of Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, His Excellency Major General Retired Mohammad Saad Khattak, High Commissioner of Islamic Republic of Pakistan, Honorable dignitaries, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Ayabuya and a very good evening to all of you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعد الله الذين آمنوا منكم وعملوا الصالحات ليستخلفنهم في الأرض كما استخلف الذين من قبلهم وليمكنن لهم دينهم الذي ارتضى لهم وليبدلنهم من بعد خوفهم أمنا يعبدونني لا يشركون بي شيئا ومن كفر بعد ذلك فأولئك هم الفاسقون. وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة وأطيعوا الرسول لعلكم ترحمون.
His Excellency Mohammad Saad Khattak, High Commissioner of Pakistan, Excellencies, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great pleasure to address this august gathering here today on the occasion of the National Day of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Let me at the outset, on behalf of His Excellency President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and the government of Sri Lanka, to convey the best wishes and congratulations to His Excellency Dr. Arif Alvi, President, His Excellency Prime Minister Imran Khan, the government and the people of Pakistan on this auspicious day. I must thank His Excellency Mohammad Saad Khattak, High Commissioner of Pakistan, and his staff of the High Commission for hosting this event today. I'm happy to see a very diverse and eminent gathering despite the limitations of travel and movements in an era of immense health risk. In fact, the mutual bondage and exchange between Pakistan and Sri Lanka seems to take a fresh turn towards greater ascent, irrespective of hurdles. In this context, we witnessed an important as well as, I must say, a significant event occurred last month to make the great stride in our bilateral relationship that marked the first official visit to Sri Lanka by His Excellency Imran Khan, Prime Minister of Pakistan, on 23rd and 24th February 2021. Prime Minister Khan came with the several cabinet ministers as well as a high-powered business and investment delegation. As the Minister of Agriculture, I was privileged to be a member of the Sri Lankan delegation under the leadership of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa when the official bilateral talks were held with Prime Minister Imran Khan at the Temple Trees. We held discussions with the Pakistan delegation on a range of important bilateral issues from COVID-19 cooperation, commerce, trade and investment, agriculture, sports, higher education, defense, security and development cooperation. Our two Prime Ministers attend a well-focused trade and investment seminar in Colombo with the participation of business leaders from both countries. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, when he met the Prime Minister Imran Khan, conveyed a strong interest to develop the agriculture and livestock sector in Sri Lanka with the assistance of Pakistan. Already we see the sign of positive outcome of Prime Minister Khan's visit. At least I could say in the agriculture sector, some Pakistan entrepreneurs returned to Sri Lanka following the official visit. I must thank that there was a positive response from the Pakistan side for my request to export high quality fertilizer to Sri Lanka that we import annually in large quantities. I hope our two countries together would explore great potential in the agriculture field. Beyond limiting to one specific sector, our bilateral cooperation goes to many other areas. Prime Minister Khan expressed his strong support for the sports sector in Sri Lanka. At the interactive session with the sport community in Sri Lanka, he pledged Pakistan's assistance to develop a high-performance sports complex in Colombo. Also, Pakistan plans to arrange sports matches as well as to donate sportswear to our youth. Our government share the same views of Pakistan on the way forward for a bilateral relationship as Prime Minister Imran Khan articulated. Our two countries must expand the areas of cooperation toward more trade and investment. With nearly 2 billion people in South Asia, we as neighbors must jointly look at our regional market for our own products and services. We invited Pakistan investors to bring manufacturing to Sri Lanka in pharmaceutical, textile, sportswear, spare parts, gem and jewelry, agro products and IT sector. We have the Pakistan-Sri Lanka Free Trade Agreement in place that became operational in 2005. Coincidentally, that was the first FTA signed by Pakistan with any foreign country. We are currently looking at the ways and means to expand cooperation under the FTA. Our Honorable Trade Minister held talks with Pakistan counterpart, and I hope the negotiation would continue to address the impediment with the desired $1 billion annual bilateral trade target. I must take this important occasion to remind that Pakistan is keen to help our youth by offering high educational opportunities. Already Pakistan announced 1,000 scholarships for our students. Prime Minister Imran Khan announced a new offer of 100 medical education scholarships opportunities so that we have additional foreign qualified medical doctors. Pakistan also plans to introduce several mobile libraries to our students in various public places. We are hopeful that the groundbreaking new spur of bilateral cooperation between Pakistan and Sri Lanka would be in the area of cultural tourism. It emerged following the announcement by Prime Minister Imran Khan that Sri Lanka Buddhists are welcome to Gandhara civilization of Pakistan. The unexplored terrains in the scenic hinterlands of Pakistan hide the ancient heritage of Buddhism. The people of Sri Lanka would be grateful to Pakistan for preserving the protecting those heritage of Mangi. Our cultural and tourism experts should follow up on this new proposal. I take this memorable occasion to propose a toast to the good health and well-being His Excellency Dr. Arif Alif, President of Islamic Republic of Pakistan, and His Excellency Imran Khan, Prime Minister, and the people of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, and to the friendship between the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka and the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Long live Pakistan-Sri Lanka relations. Thank you.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. I am also very happy to announce that within the COVID-19 pandemic, this is perhaps the first meeting, the first gathering of the diplomatic community, and having given the opportunity to the diplomatic community to interact. Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Mahindana Alutagama, Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Speaker of the Parliament, Honorable Ministers, senior civil and military officials of the Government of Sri Lanka, Excellencies and distinguished representatives of the diplomatic community and international organizations here in Sri Lanka, respected members of the Pakistan-Sri Lanka Parliamentary Friendship Association, members of Pakistani community in Sri Lanka, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, Ayubawan, and a very good evening to all of you. It is indeed a great honor for me to speak to you on this occasion on behalf of the people and the government of Pakistan. I bring to you a message of peace, love and best wishes of the government and the people of Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, 23rd March 1940 was the day when the Muslims of subcontinent, through the collective will, expressed unflinching resolve to create a separate state for the Muslims of subcontinent, wherein they could live in accordance with their traditions, values and culture. Through their tireless struggle and commitment with the blessing of Allah Almighty and under the visionary leadership of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, they achieved their objective with the creation of Pakistan on the 14th of August 1947. The modern day Pakistan and Sri Lanka relations date back to the formative years of our two countries. The foundation of strong friendship was laid in 1948 when the former Prime Minister of the then Ceylon, D.C. Senanayake, visited Pakistan. Pakistan prided itself to have been the heartland of the glorious Gandhara Buddhist civilization. The relationship between the two people exists from times immemorial, taking a firm shape through 2,500 years old linkages established during the golden era of Gandhara and Buddhist rise. The deep mutual love between our two people is the essential ingredient of inherent strength of this relationship. It is further cemented by the commonality of eternal values of universal peace and love espoused by Islam and Buddhism. Pakistan and Sri Lanka are located at the two global strategic junctions on the land and maritime Silk Route respectively, that has always been the meeting place of global civilizations, cultures and trade. The importance of both countries has increased tremendously in modern times for promoting cultural, civilizational and trade linkages among the nations of the world. I have the pleasure to say that the celebration between Pakistan and Sri Lanka, that the relations between Pakistan and Sri Lanka are firmly standing on the pillars of mutual trust, respect and cordiality. This relationship is independent of any compulsions. High-level visits, exchanges, multiple institutionalized mechanism continuously provide renewed vigor to propel and expand the relationship to newer heights. The testament for that is the grand welcome which the Prime Minister of Pakistan received from the Sri Lankan government on his recent visit to Sri Lanka. Our relationship is comprehensive, spanning bilateral cooperation in all areas of mutual interest and supportive of each other at the regional and international level. Pakistan will never forget the refueling facility by Sri Lanka in 1971, despite strong displeasure from some. While we thank Sri Lanka's unconditional support to Pakistan for its candidature at the international organization, we also feel privileged to have consistently and steadfastly helped Sri Lanka at the international forums. I would like to assure the people of Sri Lanka that Pakistan would always stand beside them whenever Pakistan's support is needed, and today's event at the UNHRC, I think, proved that very vigorously. Pakistan has rendered unconditional support to Sri Lankan armed forces in the form of military hardware and training to eliminate and defeat the LTTE terrorism. The substantive defense cooperation between the two sides continue in various areas. Pakistan is providing training to Sri Lankan armed forces and civilian officials. Both friendly countries are actively involved in exchanging expertise in diverse areas. The Sri Lankan Chief of Defence Staff is currently on a visit to Pakistan to grace the 23rd March parade, which has been just postponed today for the 25th of March because of bad weather in Pakistan. It is a matter of satisfaction that the trade and investment activities between the two countries have picked up markedly after 2005, when the two countries signed the Pakistan-Sri Lanka Mutual Free Trade Agreement. Pakistan offers one of the most friendly investment climate in the world. There is a tremendous scope for Sri Lankan companies to invest in the fields of pharmaceuticals, industrial goods, power generation, agriculture, and hospitality and tourism. Pakistan offers skilled labor force at competitive rates and market of about 200 million people. The government of Pakistan would like to promote bilateral trade in goods and services and investment in a balanced way for the mutual benefit of our two countries. Ladies and gentlemen, in today's world, education and training are cardinal for the success of both individuals and the society. The need for diverse skills, especially in youth, is vital for the progress of any country. No developing country can provide all kinds of advanced education and training to its own people on its own. Therefore, it is in the interest of friendly countries to use one another's educational training institutions to cater for domestic deficiencies. Pakistan has excelled in many fields of higher education, particularly medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, engineering, management sciences, and provide a wonderful and cost-effective options for talented Sri Lankan students. Similarly, Sri Lanka can offer expertise to Pakistan in the fields of tourism development, including hospitality and hotel management to Pakistanis. Pakistan is home to many well-reputed educational institutions which are widely recognized and appreciated across the globe. Pakistan has been offering educational scholarships to Sri Lankan students in medicine, dentistry, engineering, social sciences, and other disciplines since 1976. Over the years, hundreds of Sri Lankan students have benefited from these scholarships. We deeply appreciate the valuable role by our alumni from Sri Lanka in the socio-economic developments of Sri Lanka, apart from consolidating the bond of friendship between the two countries. Apart from that, Pakistan has also been offering training programs in banking, railways, public administration, diplomatic, and other fields. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan has launched Pakistan-Sri Lanka Higher Education Cooperation Program for Sri Lankan with the capital cost of approximately $18.4 million. 1,100 scholarships fully funded will be awarded to Sri Lankan students at undergraduate, graduate, postgraduate levels over a course of next 4 years. Availing this opportunity, I wish to extend to the people of Sri Lanka, its leadership and the government of His Excellency Gotabaya Rajapaksa, continued progress, prosperity and peace in years ahead. Please join me in saying, long live Pakistan-Sri Lanka friendship. I thank you all for a patient hearing. Thank you. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. First of all, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak. Today is a very important day in the history of Pakistan. 81 years before, on the 23rd of March 1940, our elders dreamed of a country, a separate country, an independent country in the subcontinent for the Muslims of the subcontinent. So we celebrate this day with great vigor, with great pomp and show in our country also and everywhere across the world. So this was last time we could not do it because of the pandemic, but this time we began and we got the approval from the government of Sri Lanka, was very kind to approve our function. Let me also say here that Pakistan and Sri Lanka are very close friends, very deep-rooted friends. We stand with each other in almost all difficulties. Sri Lanka stood with us when Pakistan was in difficulties. Pakistan stood with Sri Lanka when Pakistan was in difficulty, and when Sri Lanka was in difficulty, Pakistan stood with it. Like in the LTT war, Pakistan stood with Sri Lanka. In UNHRC, Pakistan stood with Sri Lanka. In other UN various organizations, Sri Lanka stood with Pakistan and voted for Pakistan. So our friendship is very deep-rooted, very friendship of mutual respect. Now, from now onwards, when the LTTE issue is over, both countries are trying to expand the trade relationship between our two countries. Our Prime Minister came here, he visited, and he received a tremendous reception that showed a lot of respect that the Sri Lankan government of His Excellency Gotabaya Rajapaksa and the Sri Lankan people, the respect that they have got for our country and our leadership. So we want to now transit our relationship from security-centric and defense-centric to trade and investment-centric. So we have the Pakistan-Sri Lanka Free Trade Agreement, on the basis of which we are now going to expand our trade to the capacity of $1 billion between our two countries. So hopefully, inshallah, with the passage of time, the two countries will be visiting again and again to each other's countries. We have tremendous relics, tremendous history of Buddhist civilization in Pakistan. We want a lot of Sri Lankans to go there as tourists. Some of them we will take and give them a trip and a visit of the Buddhist civilization that we have in Pakistan. So long live Pakistan-Sri Lanka friendship, and thank you very much. Yes, I think you saw we had the 5-6 Sri Lankan ministers who were attending our function. The Speaker of the Parliament was also here, and each one of them was thanking me and the government of Pakistan for the support that we gave to Sri Lanka in the UNHRC in Geneva today. Though the resolution could not succeed, but the role that Pakistan played has been appreciated and has been acknowledged by the government and people of Sri Lanka. Thank you.